And how is it that you get all the women to take their shirts off? What's the magic behind that?
They all want to me.
That's Kid Rock, one-time Senate hopeful, now a literal grandpa, advocate of legalizing heroin, and the president's golf buddy. Robert James Ritchie was born in Romeo, Michigan in 1971. While he raps about being straight out of the trailer,
I'm straight out the trailer.
Ritchie actually grew up in the upper middle class. His formative years were spent in a home with a swimming pool, tennis court, and an apple orchard. He moved to Detroit as a teen to pursue his love of rap. He performed as a DJ around the Motor City, where he got his stage name. People wanted to come out and see that white Kid Rock. Rock's first album, Grits Sandwiches for Breakfast, came out in 1990. The album, clearly inspired by Run DMC, showcased Rock's early rapping chops and featured a special shout-out to his future golf buddy. Now, people always ask me in KDC if we take this activity as seriously. I reply with a sigh rather uniquely and say, does Donald Trump have a lot of money? The album was a total flop, and Rock decided to lose his flat top and pivot genres. After bouncing around record labels, Rock shed his rap roots after experiencing a life-altering epiphany. I realized that I couldn't basically be black, he said. After arriving at this stunning realization, Rock switched from hip-hop to southern rock, metal, blues, and everything in between. He signed with Atlantic Records, where he released the album that put him on the map, 1998's Devil Without a Cause. After its release, Ritchie successfully worked his way up the Detroit music ladder and soon became a multi-platinum rock and roll icon. He was living large, doing a ton of drugs, physically assaulting people, displaying the Confederate flag at his concerts, marrying Pamela Anderson, and even appearing in a sex tape.
I was actually in bed with a couple girls in Florida, and someone emailed me. I got this email that says, some sex tape coming out. I was like, I got a record coming out like next week. I go, that's perfect.
With a limitless background in debauchery, Rock made the obvious next step and decided to dip his toes in political waters. With lyrics like start an escort service for all the right reasons and set up shop at the top of 4 seasons, it's obvious who Rock supported in the presidential election in 2012. Famous lifelong Mormon Willard Romney, better known to the adoring public as Mitt. Wait, Mitt Romney? In 2012, Rock joined forces with Romney on the campaign trail after a pleasant meeting with the former Massachusetts governor, now Utah Senator.
Kid Rock.
Rock supported Romney because he considered him to be super lame. Actually, Romney strikes me as super f***ing honest. He's a complete nerd, though. That's kind of what I want going on in there. Rock expanded on issues important to him in 2012. I don't give a f*** if gay people get married, he says. He then goes on to contradict himself again. I don't love anybody who acts like a f***ing faggot. On the hot-button topic of abortion, he says, I think they go too far with some of that pro-life stuff. I just want some nerds watching my money. But perhaps his most important reason for supporting the Mitt Romney-Paul Ryan ticket, aside from being nerds watching money, was a deal he made. Rock told The New Yorker that Paul Ryan agreed that if he and Romney won, they would convert the White House's bowling alley into a bow and arrow range for him. In 2015, even though Obama won re-election and saved the bowling alley, it didn't stop Rock from lobbing some arrows elsewhere. Following the Charleston church massacre by a white supremacist, protesters urged Rock to denounce the Confederate flag he often used as a backdrop for concerts, even though he was born and raised in the North. Rock wrote an email to Fox News for them to relay to the masses.
And this is a quote. He said, please tell the people who are protesting to, quote, kiss my ass.
In 2016, after supporting Ben Carson for some reason, Rock switched to support a former steak salesman, Donald J. Trump, for the presidency.
I understand steaks.
My feeling, let the motherfucking business guy run it like a fucking business, and his campaign has been entertaining as shit. When Trump won, he invited Rock to the White House.
Uh-oh, I got the mic.
for a very entertaining photo op of Rock, the Trump, and Sarah Palin. Rock went all in. He sold pro-Trump merchandise on his online shop. The shirts showed red states marked as America and blue states marked as Dumbfuckistan. Another says, God, Guns, and Trump. And one more, Donald Trump. The D is missing because it's in every hater's mouth.
I was like, you can suck my... I was like, what do you think of that?
In July of 2017, Rock took his very classy political interests a step further and teased a Senate run, which was interesting considering his stance on narcotics. They should legalize and tax everything: pot, cocaine, heroin.
Donald Trump can be president. I think Kid Rock can be senator.
Rock announced his campaign with a tweet showing a picture of a yard sign which read, Kid Rock for U.S. Senate. He released merch with the same message and then stumped for himself in Detroit.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the next senator of the great state of Michigan, Kid
Rock was endorsed by former governor of New York, George Pataki. Kid Rock is exactly the kind of candidate the GOP needs right now, Pataki tweeted.
Kid Rock for Senate has got folks in disarray. Wait the f***ers here. Kid Rock for president of the USA!
A few months later, Rock set the record straight on Howard Stern. No, I'm not running for Senate. Are you kidding me? Who couldn't figure that out? I'm releasing a new album. I'm going on tour too. Are you f***ing me? Apparently, announcing a Senate run is the new way of saying, I'm not running for Senate. It is unclear just exactly what Kid Rock would look like in a position of power, but one thing he has made clear is the way in which he would navigate a war.
Now one of our guys gets killed, bam, wipe it off the face of the map. That town's gone. Now you walk in the next town.
Civilians.
Everything.
Sound familiar?
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them.
A Venn diagram of Trump and Kid Rock is seemingly just a giant circle, so it's no surprise that the two hit the links together to chop it up on the course. It's unclear or not whether Rock will position himself for another run at something, but his odds of winning might be good, considering there's a former steak salesman turned reality star at the helm. We may only be a stone's throw away from a Rock presidency.
Cause wouldn't it be a sight to see President Kid Rock in Washington, D.C., standing on the Oval Office like a G, holding my dick ready to address the whole country? I look the nation dead in the eyes, live on TV, and simply tell them, you never met a motherfucker quite like